The first shadow moved before the sun did, and Rui felt his stomach drop, because stone doesn't lie. It was late afternoon in Porto, 2007, the hour when the city turns honey gold and the river below the cliffs looks like poured metal. Rui was guiding his little sister Ines back home after school, cutting through an old neighborhood where the buildings leaned close and the air smelled like warm granite, roasted chestnuts, and the salt of the Atlantic carried in on a tired breeze. They took a shortcut up a narrow staircase wedged between two aging facades. The steps were uneven, polished by decades of shoes, and the walls beside them were patched with old tiles, blue and white, cracked like dry riverbeds. Halfway up, Ines stopped. "Look," she whispered. Their shadows stretched across the steps as expected, long, thin silhouettes climbing with them. But one shadow didn't match. It slid sideways. Not fast, not jerky, like a person calmly changing lanes in a crowd. Rui blinked, then laughed too loudly, trying to make it a joke. He lifted his hand, waved it in the air. His shadow waved back. The other shadow did not. It tilted its head, just a fraction, like it was listening. Ines gripped his sleeve hard enough to hurt. "Rui, it's not us." Above them, the sun was steady, bright, uncaring. No cloud drifted over. No passing car threw a sweeping beam. No street lamp hummed on. Yet the strange shadow kept moving, crawling up 2 steps, then pausing, patient, deliberate, like it was waiting for them to follow. Rui forced his legs to work. 1 step. Another. He tried to outpace it. The shadow drifted faster, gliding ahead of them, stretching longer than it should, bending around the edge of a step as if it had weight. Then it did the one thing shadows aren't supposed to do. It crossed a gap of sunlight. A clean stripe of bright stone lay between 2 darker bands where the walls cast shade. Rui and Ines stepped into the light and their shadows snapped shorter, but the other shadow stayed long. It spilled across the bright stripe like ink poured on glass. Rui felt a cold sweat break along his back. He looked left, right. Only blank walls, old tiles, a tiny balcony above with laundry hanging still. No one watching. No prank, no projector. Just a staircase and a silence that suddenly felt staged. "Don't run," Rui told Ines, though his voice shook. "Just keep moving." The shadow slid to the top landing and stopped. For a heartbeat, it looked like a person standing there, blocking the way. Then it folded, flattening into the corner where the wall met the last step, and vanished, as if it had been pulled through a seam in the stone. At the top, the air was warmer. Ordinary. Birds called somewhere. Traffic sighed in the distance. Porto kept being Porto. But Rui couldn't shake the feeling that something had tested the boundary between light and matter. And for a moment, it had won. If that staircase ever shows up in your mind again, ask yourself, what else in the world is only behaving because we expect it to? And if you felt that chill too, help the channel grow. Tap like, share this story with someone who loves mysteries, subscribe for more, and comment what you think made the shadows shift.